Hey guys, this is wersderf, and this is episode 5 of World of Tanks for Beginners. And this episode, I'm talking about medium tanks. So let's get right to it. Right here, I got a medium tank, the T-34-2, which is Tier 8 Chinese medium tank. And some of the characteristics of medium tanks are that they're like, as the name suggests, they're in the middle. They're not heavy tanks, they're not light tanks, they're in the middle. So that means that they have pretty good armor, and these are all generalizations. Of course, there are exceptions. They have pretty good armor. They're decently fast. Faster than heavy tanks, not as fast as light tanks. They have not as hard-hitting guns. For instance, this T-34-2 has 100mm gun at tier 8, and it does 250. So it doesn't have the most damage out of some of the guns like the IS-3, which with 122mm, but it shoots at a fast rate. So with all these characteristics in mind, there are some roles that the medium tanks play, and one is to be a support tank. With your ability to move fast and fire rapidly, you need to be able to be flexible around the battlefield and support your teammates. And with these good characteristics, you have to be a jack of all trades. You need to take on the role of a heavy tank when you need to. You need to take on the role of a light tank when you need to. Sometimes it's required that you act like a TD. Since medium tanks are the jack-of-all-trade tanks, you can fulfill all of these different roles on the battlefield when your team needs it. And also, since you're fast, you need to be able to adapt quickly to what the enemy is doing and what your teammates are doing. And fill holes in the battlefield. If your teammates lose a whole flank, then you can rush over and slow the tanks down while you're giving your teammates enough time to push through the other way. And with a medium tank, you can just fill in any position since you're fast and you have okay armor, okay gun, and a lot of that sort of thing. And lastly, you'll find that this is a theme in all the tanks we play, is to survive the battle. Either use your armor or use your speed to avoid taking damage, but you need to survive the battle, because if you don't survive the battle, then you can't benefit you or your team. So with all that in mind, I have a game in my T-34-2 that I would like to show you. So let's get right to it. So alright guys, we got a game in my T-34-2 Tier 8 Chinese medium tank on Sand River. And as you can see, we're in a okay matchup where Tier 8 is top, but there are a lot of them. Favorable matchup would be a couple Tier 8s, Tier 7 and Tier 6s. But this is way better than a Tier 10 game. So right off the bat, we're going to go into this position on the hill and get some spots. Now, we're not acting purely as a scout tank here because we see an opportunity and we're going to take some shots at this T-34 that is completely exposed. And with this gun, it has a fast reload. We're able to put 2 nice shots right into the side of the T-34 right off the bat in the game. And we're going to stay on this hill for a little bit and see if we can get any more spots. We're really going to just stay around the middle of the map and, like I said, fill in holes that our team has left, since I have the flexibility, especially with the T-34-2 with its very well armored turret. I can get into positions where it's very hard for the enemy to deal damage to me, but I can dish it out to them. So right here, I'm going to move into position on this hill to either get spots or put some shots into enemies that don't think that they can get shot. For instance, I see this T-69 over here. He there's no way he can expect to get shot from this side. And I get spotted by that, presumably by this IS-3, and I'm forced to back off from shooting the T-69. Because this central hill, not only can you put a lot of shots into tanks all around the map, but tanks all around the map can shoot you. So once you get up into a position like this, you have to be really careful not to get shot at. And we're gonna spend an awful long time pestering this IS-3. We do load an APCR around here, and with this Chinese tank's poor accuracy, we can assume that that shot went higher than we wanted it to and hit it in the turret. There was an okay chance of penetrating him if it hits his hull. So right now I'm not really shooting this IS-3 in hopes that I'm going to penetrate him. I'm kind of keeping him spotted and pestering him, so he has to continue to focus on me. As soon as he moves his focus away from me, I might have a chance of penetrating him. So right now I'm just pestering him and seeing if my teammates can get a shot on him. Arguably not the best move at this point in the game, since there are other spots in the map that need more assistance than me poking the IS-3 with my little 100mm stick. So I'm using my speed up here to get into another position where I can shoot some of these tanks in the base. And again, you have to be careful in this spot. And I put a nice shot into presumably the AT-15's gun mantlet. It's pretty weak. But you do have to be careful of the spot, because tanks over in this area of the map and in the town can put shots into you. And there we go, the IS-3 exposes his side armor to me, and I put a nice meaty shot into him. Luckily there, the T-28 all the way on that hill only damages my tracks and does not put a damaging shell into me. And we take a blind shot at him for whatever. He would have most likely died if we were able to penetrate that shot. I just did it for the heck of it. And once again, I see that this spot is not gonna help the team or help me really get anywhere. So I move myself to the other side to assist this Panther in the IS-3 or ISU. With again my decent speed, I'm able to fill in this gap that I see. So the Panther 2 cries for help, and Chinese friend. Oh, that's not an ISU. That's a Waffenträger. I'm silly. So I'm gonna go help this Panther 2 push around this corner to see if we can push through the enemy. So I tell him to help. So right now we are attacking, and there's about 4 minutes left in the game, and the score is about even. But we need to make the move since we're attacking. So the Panther 2 is able to clean up that IS-3 with one shot. Neither of us taking any damage. That's good. So I'm going to try and use my armor around this corner. So right there, I peek around that corner and take a shot from the AT-15. And I still didn't learn my lesson, so I do it again. But after that time the AT-15 shoots me, I realize that I need to side scrape around this corner. And in a medium tank, especially one with armor like mine, I can side scrape effectively around this corner, whereas this Panther 2 might not have the same success. So a lot about playing medium tanks is using the strengths of your specific vehicle to your advantage. Every single medium tank is different, except with, like, you could argue that a lot of the 3 Chinese medium tanks are very similar, but each have their own strengths, and knowing those and using them effectively is what you need to do in order to be successful in playing a medium tank. For a long time, I played just heavies and tank destroyers, and I had no idea how to play a medium tank. I was probably 4,000 games in until I started to grasp what I had to do to play medium tanks. So if you play medium tanks without very much success at the beginning, don't feel bad, because I had similar problems. Now, I try and take a shot at this T-44, and I bounce him. But I decide that I need to leave him alone to the rest of my teammates and fight the rest of these tanks and push up, since we are running out of time. In this nice and juicy ISU, peeks up above that hill, and I'm fairly sure that I hit that blind shot. Now, the Panther II jumps on cap, and I decide, okay, 2 minutes. I don't see it being likely that we're gonna kill all of these tanks. And right now it looks good. We're 3v2. We're capping, but unfortunately it starts going downhill from here. There's the T-69 up on the hill, and a T-28 to our back. And there's the T-28, and he's gonna reset one of us, it looks like. And he does. He kills the Panther II. And I have an APCR around right here. And this shot is really important. The T-69 is one hit. I'm going to fire. It moves just to the left of him. And after that, the game's over. We do end up losing it. And I very sarcastically remark about the Chinese tank's accuracy. Oh yeah, and also the gold. I was a little frustrated, and I did think I bounced at that time, but I didn't bounce. I was a little frustrated because of the good game that I had been playing, and one simple screw up led to a loss. And it's understandable when stuff like that happens and you get frustrated. It happens to me all the time, where it's like, it's so close to winning, and then something like that messes it up, and it just a miss. If I had hit that turret, it was a very good chance of me penetrating him and killing him and winning the game. But it didn't happen like that, and the T-69 is just gonna wait the game out. There's not much to see after this. The Waffentrager doesn't have time to cap, and the game's over. So either way, I know that was not a win, but I think that it serves its purpose in showing an example of some of the things I was talking about with regards to how you play medium tanks. So, game's over. Let's look at the stats. Alright, so the game's over. Defeat, obviously. I was able to rack up 800 experience. I didn't have premium at the time. Looking at the experience, I was the top of the team, achieving about 800 spotting damage, presumably. Let's see. How did I get some spotting damage? I'm not sure. It doesn't show me. Either way, I get some assisted damage, and of course, some shots blocked by my armor when I was side-scripting. And I was able to achieve the Confederate medal with my 9 penetrations, equaling up to 2,200 damage. So it was a pretty good game. If I were to win, I would have gotten a lot more experience. But of course, since it was a defeat, I was not able to achieve that much. So anyways, that's the game. I hope you learned something from my medium tank showcase. If you disagree, or you would like to add something to this description of medium tanks, feel free to make a comment. I'm open to suggestions, because I most certainly am not the best World of Tanks player out there, nor am I the most educated. So if you have another idea or you disagree with me, leave it in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you learned something. This has been wersderf. Peace, love, and joy. And we'll get right to it. Now in the garage we have the T-34 Premium Heavy Tank. It is Tier 8 and Premium, obviously. This is a pretty good example of a general heavy tank. And when I say general, I mean that for most of the heavy tanks in World of Tanks,